the next one, which when you sent me in WhatsApp, it did make me chuckle from the "you couldn't make this up" department. This is
Yeah.
brilliant.
So, Dan, 10 days ago, an academic, Kylie Moore Gilbert, wrote a piece in the Sydney Morning Herald. So anybody listening to us outside of Australia knows exactly where we're talking about. The Sydney Morning Herald is the paper for Sydney. And the warning was that students could now outsource so much of their learning to AI that Kylie didn't know whether to recommend her children go to university or not. So I read it. It was a bit of a divisive piece. There's a lot of opinion in there, but some interesting questions that have to be asked, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
Professor Kath Ellis, who is described as one of Australia's leading academic integrity experts, wrote an opinion piece in response, where she basically urged students not to use AI to do their own work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that article had to be pulled after it was revealed that AI wrote it.
That's
Or
so
helped
funny.
write it.
Yeah.
Now, here's a twist. The Sydney Morning Herald, the newspaper it was published in, has very strict guidelines on AI use that bars it from being used to write stories for publication.
Yeah.
So this sounds to me a bit like an assessment thing, which is not allowed to use AI, students, and people do anyway. Now, this isn't just they thought it had been written with AI. The university said, yes, AI was trained on 40,000 words of her own writing, and it was used to organize and draft ideas she already held. Now, Professor Ellis said she wrote down some thoughts on the train coming into work, and then she asked her AI assistant to pull them into a coherent structure. I mean, that sounds to me like something you would tell students they shouldn't do. The uni team said they used it to support editing, structure, and language refinement. I mean, that sounds like you using AI to write.
Very nuanced again, isn't it? Wow.
So here's the difficulty. Somebody says you shouldn't send your kids to university because AI has ruined the experience. The response to that has been written with AI and against the rules of the publication.
Yeah.
Here's the question that I think schools and universities are still struggling to answer. When does AI become a writing assistant? And when does it become a substitute for the work itself?
Yeah.
Is spell check an assistant that's okay? Is editing, structure, and language refinement okay? No, probably not. It's always fascinating when these kind of cases come up. They're things we can learn from. There's probably a pile-on going to happen to the academic, which is so unfair because it will have happened a bunch of times. But it's part of that adjustment we're making as society to the role that AI plays. We don't know what AI's role is going to be. And boy, are we in a uncomfortable position until we can work it out.